Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're revisiting my very first Nakamichi, the BX-150. Secretly, I've always thought that this deck could have been a much better deck than it is, simply because the wound flutter hasn't been all that great on it. It's running about 0.07% wound flutter, and that's regardless of what I do to it. So I've been seeking a way to deal with that without getting into my special capstan motors for belt drive units, and I think I've come up with a way today. I should mention that this is kind of the second part of my twofold plans on getting a half-decent Nakamichi direct drive tape deck that isn't the ZX-9. The other you will remember, of course, is the Technics RSM88. I'm still planning to swap the Nakamichi head into that deck, but the problem with that deck is it's too good for me to do it that quickly. So I've just been kind of enjoying that deck the way it is, and without being in any real hurry to modify that deck into being a Technics Nakamichi hybrid. You might remember that the BX-150 has a Sankyo-based transport in it. And you might also remember that I recently looked at another Sankyo-based transport that has a direct drive motor in it. That would be this guy right here. Yes, folks, you are now seeing the main reason why this deck is here, the KX-880. The plan is to try, I will emphasize that, to take the direct drive motor out of this and put it into this. But this may not be as easy as words would otherwise imply it to be. Easier said than done, in other words. So there are a couple of reasons why I believe that, but we'll get into those when I get the transports out of both of these decks to compare against. But first off, we need to make sure that the electronics of the BX-150 is going to be good enough to power the new direct drive motor. So in order to do that, we'll have to go over to the computer here and take a look at the schematics. The electronics part of this is going to be the easy part, trust me. Okay folks, here is the capstan motor for the Nakamichi BX-150. You can see it. This wire on this side comes down to this junction right here, which comes down to the optical sensor for the shut-off board. So that is the positive going into the motor. And the positive comes from pin 9 over here. And it is supplied through R612, which is a 5.6 ohm fusible resistor. And I've already checked, that is a 1/4 watt resistor, so that's going to need some modifying to power the new capstan motor. You have to remember that the Kenwood capstan motor was pulling about 0.4 amperes back before I serviced it. So it's doing about half that now, but even so, that is a 1/4 watt resistor, so we're going to have to upsize that. I'm going to go up to 1 watt on that. I've got the resistor, no problem. This capacitor here, I'm kind of thinking about upsizing too. It's 220 volts or 220 microfarads at 16 volts. But there's another issue we need to be aware of with this deck. The deck itself controls the power to the capstan motor through the negative side, which is this rail up here. And what happens is it turns that on by pulling the negative wire to ground. It goes through pin 3 all the way down and off the page, of course. And it comes from this right here. Basically what the deck does is it tells this transistor to turn on and then short that line to ground. And I've checked this transistor. It's good for 1 ampere, so it will handle the new capstan motor. But I'm not sure if I want it to. I think I want the capstan motor to get full power all the time as long as the deck is on. So the plan is to take Q620 out and jumper across the collector and emitter to always give it the ground. At least I think that's the way I'm going to do it. With that said, the Kyocera in the other room, the D611, does have a switched direct drive capstan motor like this, so I could leave that alone if I really wanted to. But that's not all we're doing. we're going to take the lighted beauty plate out of the Kenwood and put that in the Nakamichi as well, because that's always driven me crazy. So we'll go over to the Kenwood service manual here. And this is the lighted beauty plate in the Kenwood right here. What they're doing is, this is ground right here, if you can see that. And then power comes in on pin 1. You can see here it's getting negative 2.2 volts out of R170, which is a 1 kilo ohm 2 watt resistor. And it comes from the 24 volt line from the power supply. Now, just because we have this data here, we've got minus 23.6 volts here, minus 2.2 volts here. With those two numbers, we can calculate just what kind of a dropping resistor we need for the Nakamichi, which will be powering this from 12 volts instead of 24 volts. And I have already done that calculation, and I've come up with about 470 to 500 ohms, basically half of what this Kenwood is running right now. With that being said, that is a 2 watt resistor, so I'm kind of thinking on this one maybe I double up a 1 kilo ohm resistor in parallel, and that should give me my 500 ohms and power that indicator. So that's the electronic side settled. Now we've got to deal with the physical side. That's going to be the hard part. I've already got some bad news. We're not going to be able to carry the Kenwood's beauty plate over to the Nakamichi. I'll show you why. I'll just take them both here. I'll set them down here. There's the Kenwood, obviously, and here's the Nak plate with its complete lack of a light whatsoever. And we'll just overlay the two. You can see they are mounting the same way on the bottom, but on the top, these screw holes do not line up. And that is a problem. Or do they line up? Let me just check again real quick. No, they don't line up. I would have to, well, I don't think I could drill out the Kenwood holes because completely different style of mount on this one. We've got tabs on this one, and the Nak plate is just kind of like the Nak plate. I could cut this out and put the LED in anyway, but I don't think I will. My main goal for today was to convert the Nakamichi over to direct drive, and that's what I'm most concerned with. Now, obviously, we have two different mounting styles for these two transports. On the Nak, they mount from one screw up here and two on the bottom. So, if I have to change the transports over, it might be difficult. Let's see, do we have the right mounts underneath here? Okay, the Nak mounting holes are here, and they are present on the Kenwood, but I'm betting I would have to tap those out, which I am equipped for now, but I would rather not do that. So let's take a look at the capstan mounts. If I can stop my wires from getting tangled up here. Okay, on the Nakamichi, you can probably see it better this way. You have a bearing with 3 screws. And what I'm not seeing is the little slots in the inside in the base plate for the direct drive motor that the Kenwood has, which is over here. As you can see, this shaft is much thicker to account for the direct drive motor, and it's got the 11mm nut on it. But moreover, there's a little slot right in this side that acts as a key with a little roll pin in the direct drive motor to keep it from turning or twisting. And the Nak version does not have that. So I think the only way to make this work is to completely swap this transport over to the Nak side of things. So what I would have to do is, let's see, probably swap the entire head block over. I can do that because Well, I could leave this head block in here as well, but then I would have to swap the heads over and deal with all that, and I would just rather make this easier. I can clearly see that the head block is the same on both transports. So yes, the pinch roller, the head block, and the reel assembly will all come over from the neck to this transport, I think. And then the door obviously has to come over as well, because it's a completely different style of mount here. On the Kenwood, we've got screws here and here. And on the neck, we've got basically the same thing, except a different type of screw. So I think my first step is to see if I can swap the door over and all that stuff. But on the neck, we've got this switch here, and that would have to come over. I'm not exactly sure if that's part of the actually it is part of the side panel that holds the door onto the neck, so I think that would work actually. But in terms of switches, we've got the one record prevention switch on the neck and the two over here. And the reason why this one has two is because it has automatic detection of tape type. So I think that would have to be swapped over as well if I can pull that off. Otherwise, I can make this one work. It's just not ideal. Wiring harnesses also would have to be swapped over unless I get real creative here. I have already looked, and this cam and this cam assembly are identical, so I can just swap those two around. I'm kind of thinking about saving this board here to run in the neck from the way it's got it now. You can see on the neck side of things, we've got two positive wires here and one negative. This is because the positive wire is split on the neck between the capstan motor and the shutoff sensor, which is down here. And those would have to be swapped over, I think. So I think it's actually going to work, honestly. The reel drive plate is the same on both units. As you can see, the Kenwood's got some extra circuitry on the back of this motor that Nakamichi didn't use, but that's fine. I want to keep the wiring harness the same anyway, so I'll just carry over all this stuff and install it to this deck. But first I have to see if I can figure out if I can tap these mounting holes so that this transport can go into the neck, because it's clearly got the same holes. You see this one up here is for the top mount, and this one has it too. It's just not tapped. So let me get my taps I just ordered specifically for this experiment, and we'll see if we can get this done. Okay, so my little tap kit I bought just for this turned out to be a waste of money. Nakamichi used self-tapping screws here, so all I had to do was just run the screw in, and it's fine. It'll work. I've got the taps if I need to drill out and re-tap that to something in a machine screw flavor, but this is going to work. Fairly certain of that. So it's just not coming out with my fingers is all. So I just gotta tap the other two holes and using a screw, and we'll be off to the races with this little experiment. Just checking the neck just to make sure I'm getting the right screw holes here, and I am. And there we have it. The base plate of the Kenwood transport is ready for installation into a Nakamichi cassette deck. So I guess the next step from here will be to strip down this transport and start getting it ready for the neck parts. And oh yeah, I got to take that nut back off the capstan side of this and thread lock it so it stays in place better. So I guess we'll just get going on this. We'll get her done. checking to be sure everything's compatible, and I do believe it is. This spring and this spring are identical. This isn't used in the neck, so that'll be removed, but I need to make sure I can install the record prevention switch on the other side of things here. I think I can. Just finished taking all these switches out first, and I'll take another look. Yes, this arm would have to be removed. The neck doesn't use that. So we'll take that out right now. And we've got a spring that wants to fight. Well, not very hard, but it wanted to fight. Okay, we're slowly getting to the point of maybe changing parts over. So I'm going to take out the switch actuator that we're not going to be using. From the Kenwood, like so. That should be the correct one, I think. Yes, that is the correct one. So I think this is really going to work, actually. I think so. So we'll pull the sides off the neck here. I'm just going to show the camera how the neck head wires are, because we're going to have to put those back. Gotta be honest, I'm kind of relieved not to be doing the beauty plate swap, because if I did that, then it would look just not like a BX-150 anymore. Okay, and I'll pull this off just temporarily because it's wired in yet, and I want to see if this plate will just swap right over. And line up the same way. I think it will. I honestly do. Yes, it will. So we can go ahead and bring this over to the new transport already. Honestly, I don't even know if this has even been tried before, but first time for everything, I guess. I don't know if my screws will port over from the Nakamichi, but that's fine. If it doesn't, I've got the ones from the Kenwood. And yes, the screws will even come over. At least that's how it would appear. They're not tapped the same way, though. But they are working. Now, what I would need to do, I guess, is finish taking the door off the neck, I guess. I'll just show the camera here because it's an entirely different way of mounting the door on this one. And it's kind of inseparable from the side panel anyway. So why don't I put this back together? And we'll take this side panel off, because we have to anyway. And then we'll just completely remove the door on the neck. And set that up out of the way for now, because I'm betting that will go over as well. Okay, now our next step would be to get rid of some wiring zip ties here so I can, well, I got to desolder this motor as well. So remember, we want the whole wiring harness to come over, so I can just plug in and go with the new direct drive stuff. Orange wires are positive on the NAC. Green is negative. 4 Z capstan motor, and those are the only 2 wires I would really like to disconnect on this. And now we got to get down there and get at the shut-off board and reel drive and all that other good stuff to swap those over. And I'm about to free up another new capstan motor for something else, because the Kenwood's not going back together. It's in too bad a shape, that deck. Otherwise, I could swap it all over and have the Kenwood work again. And there will be some service-related components I'm going to be doing as well that haven't been done yet on this particular NAC. I don't think I did a pinch roller service on it at all. And I'm not sure if I did the reel tables either, so we'll do that today as well. Extra washers, that's fine. We're doing a complete conversion to direct drive here, so now I've got more to do on the NAC side of things yet, but right now I'm just kind of trying to free up the wiring harnesses and such so I can get the components that are wired in out of the way. Oh, that's right, the cam gears, or the cam assembly is done from this side of the fence. And if you look real close, you can see that this is actually the same plate as what's over here, except the tabs have not been bent over on the Kenwood. Kind of interesting. It won't affect anything, I'm very sure of that. Okay, head block removal. Well, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm just kind of taking a look at the head blocks to make sure everything's compatible here. They look identical. And I mean absolutely identical, so that's gonna work. But needs to finish taking the electronic components off this thing. Or not the electronic components, the wired in components. I'm gonna run this screw back into the end of this so I don't lose it. Okay, and now all I gotta do on this side is pull the reel drive, I guess. And then I've got full unfettered access. I gotta say, folks, my initial plan was to strip down the Kenwood chassis first and then deal with this, but I guess doing completely the opposite way of doing things is a way as well. Okay, pinch roller has to come off this thing before the head block comes off as well, but I'm not worried about the head block just yet. I'm just worried about the stuff that's attached here. Okay, here comes a reel table. shortly to be followed by the other reel table. And yes, I am fully aware that this might render me unable to have a halfway decent BX-150 after this, but these things are here for me to learn on, so I'm not really that concerned about it at the moment. Okie doke, we are ready to remove the reel table off from the neck, or the reel assembly from the neck, I should say. And the plan after this is to just basically leave the Kenwood in pieces, because I've already started cribbing parts off that thing, so don't really need to keep any of it in any semblance of working order. Okay, we'll do the record prevention switch now, which hopefully will go over to the new transport. Reel drive coming out. And now the only thing we have left to do is take out the shutoff board, which is a length I've never gone to on one of these Sankyo decks before. Theoretically, I could use the one that's in the Kenwood as well, but why not just make sure it's compatible? This little spring gets in the way up top here. Okay. I've got a bunch of parts intertwined with one another up there. And now we've got the basic transport right out here in front of us. That took almost no time at all to strip down. So in order to get the head block out, it looks like we've got a couple of C-clips, one here and one here, and that's how it comes out. So we'll do that later, because I need to start stripping down the Kenwood transport and start moving parts over. Okay, got to do the same thing over here. I gotta find my my tools so I can get the this thing off. Give me a second. Okay. Well, actually, maybe I should pull the pinch roller first. I gotta do it anyway, because the knack roller's coming over. Assuming it fits. If it don't fit, then I'll use this one from the Kenwood. It's no problem. Oh, where did my ball bearing go? Oh, there it is. It's on the bottom of this. So I'm going to try to keep things straight here if I can. Cam stand motor out again. I'm noticing the brake plate's a little bit different. It's the same plate, it's just a different color is all. So I think we can keep the brakes the same on the Kenwood transport. Maybe. Kind of flopping around loose on the other side, but that's kind of because I haven't really stripped this chassis down yet. Okay, we'll pull another cam motor here. And very soon this will be stripped down to the point that the Nakamichi is currently. I might actually get this done today. I was going to take the day off, but then I started doing this. And I've got another control motor to rebuild, it looks like. Still haven't done the one from the 1100G yet, but I'll get to it. And I could convert the Nakamichi over to gear drive at this point too, but I'm not going to. I actually like the way the knack is, so gonna leave it the way the knack is. Whoops, almost lost me a screw there. Okay, so the two are about equally stripped down. And now it is time to swap the head block over and lose the little spring that goes up top here, apparently. Oh well, I can figure things out later. Put the nut for the capstan motor off by itself so I don't lose track of things. Now the question is, am I going to be able to get everything swapped over or not? We are about to find out. So the eject prevention thing has to come off both sides. I was actually thinking of selling the BX-150 until I realized I hadn't done this project yet, so glad I remembered because it's more video content to have for you guys. Okay. Does this little thing at the top need to come off? Don't think so, actually. Just got to get the E-clips off and we're pretty well done. We got to watch for ball bearings once this comes off too. Getting my hands nice and greasy now. And actually we can now see exactly what the differences are between the two on the capstan bearing side. You can see there's no slot here, and the hole is wider on the Kenwood side. Okay, what am I doing now? Losing my mind, as usual. I can't even get a screwdriver into that E-clip. I can get my cutters into it. One E-clip off, and we'll get to the other one here. Looks like it's easier to get to this one. And it is. And now the Kenwood head block can come off, I think. Okay, it just comes up from the top, I think, then downwards to unhook it. Yes, that is how that works. And we've got 3 ball bearings, one of which stayed behind. And I will grab that one real quick. Just drop it back where it goes for now. I'm going to put the head block to the side from the Kenwood. Okay, so the Kenwood ball bearings have been removed and have been cleaned up. And I'm about to do some scrubbing and cleaning on the Kenwood transport, because this is a level I've never gone to with either the Kenwood or the Nakamichi, and it makes sense to go in with brand new grease and other stuff while we're doing this kind of a swap. Clean up all the old grease, put new grease. That neck's going to be in great shape by the time I'm done with this, assuming it even works after I'm done with this. Half y'all probably think I'm crazy for even trying this, but I didn't need to try this to know I was crazy. I've never been what a guy would call sane, and we got a brake plate falling off now. Might as well relube that too, huh? So come off, Mr. Brake Plate, and we'll give you some new lube. Just applying some grease to these little sliding points here where the dimples are. I don't think I really need to re-grease this whole thing, but I'll smear a little bit on. Just to make sure. New grease over here as well. I can't believe Nakamichi never ever did this on any of their two headers. They could have, but I guess they just wanted to steer people to the BX-300, which is a direct drive unit. Which kind of makes sense. Why give the customers everything they want when they can charge more to give them everything they want, as it were. Okay, and I'm going to keep the Kenwood ball bearings in place because I want to see if they're the same size as the ones we're going to get off the NAC transport. Come off, you stupid E-clip. How come you're fighting me when the Kenwood didn't? Oh, but we got a problem here because the Nakamichi head wires come through a slot in the transport. So I'm going to have to depin the connectors so I can get these wires through here in order to finish this. So I will do that off camera, I guess. Let me just grab the ball bearings here first. They are the exact same size as on the Kenwood, I am relieved to find. Alright, I got her done. Wires have been swapped into the new transport. Just the way Nakamichi had them. And it's occurred to me that I have to remove this pinch roller anyway because I wanted to service it, so I will do so right now while I've got the access for it. I'll put the pinch roller up by the beauty plate for the NAC just so I don't get confusted, which is easy enough for me to do. Now we got to come over here and do some cleaning. Lots of old nasty grease under here, so this did need to be done anyway, but well, I guess the grease wasn't completely terrible yet, but it was going that way. Okay, now we can just pick 3 ball bearings at random and reinstall the head block on the new transport. They're the same size ball bearings, so I'm not worried about any issues with head height or anything. It should just go in and work, but we're going to have to break out the alignment gauge in order to see if the NAC head needs adjustment after this. It may not. And I'll grab my molly coat and we'll start lubing up the head block. I don't think it needs actually much. I think most of it's already on the chassis, but I'll put a little more on just in case. Let's see, where else did we have grease? I don't know if it needs much grease anywhere else, really. That should actually do it, I think. So, on with the head block. This little pin up at the top doesn't want to go. Or does it? Oh, there we go. Moving super well. So we'll go around to the other side and reinstall our E-clips after a little more grease. Okay, those are in. I'll take my paper towel with these ball bearings and move it out of the way so I don't lose those. Or better yet, I will actually throw those ball bearings into my parts bin here. Just so they're in storage and ready for whenever I need them, if I ever need them. And I think before I move on, I'm going to do a quick pinch roller service off camera with the NAC pinch roller, and that way I don't forget which pinch roller goes where. Okay folks, as you can see, the pinch roller is in. Everything's working well up here. And I'm about to start reassembly of this thing. And unfortunately, the camera battery is now dying, so I'm going to have to shut you guys off and just basically do the whole reassembly off camera. We can pick up again once we're ready to do wiring and electronics and all that stuff, but I think I'm going to have to go off camera for the rest of this. So let me get this put back together, and yeah, I guess I'll report back if I've got anything to report back on. Alright folks, there you have it. One direct drive Nakamichi BX-150 transport. We'll see if it works momentarily, but first I need to show you exactly what I had to do to get this to go back together properly. I will say that between the two decks I had everything I needed to do this. So if you want to do this for your Nakamichi, then it's not that hard. You just got to have a parts donor. This over here was a bit of an issue, the record prevention thing. That's because the screw hole was not tapped out for it. That's it down in there. Had to use one of the self-tappers from the Kenwood deck in order to get that to work, but it's in there. It's gonna work, I think. But before we start counting our chickens, let's load a blank shell. And yes, that works fine. Excellent. This is going to work, I think. But I wanted to save this while I was on camera with you guys. So I'm going to break out the alignment gauge now, and we'll see if the head needs adjustment. It may not. If it does, I don't know exactly what I would be able to do, because I don't see any shims or anything in there. But let's cover all our bases and check anyway. All right, now I gotta get my hands on this so I can push up the head block. Zoom in so you can see. And push up. Grab my checker bar. Nope, we're good. We're all good. I have made some changes to the back, however, I need to show you. I decided to go ahead and take that little circuit board off the Kenwood and reuse it. Just because it's a little easier to connect the direct drive motor that way. I'll just show you under here. You can see it right here. Bearing in mind that the Nakamichi deck had two positives going to the motor and the negative for the motor was switched, I've got them separated here. I've got all the positives going to this center section. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands all connected to the same place, so that'll work. And there's just a 3-terminal strip on this side for the negatives. And I've checked with the multimeter and nothing's shorting out, so I'm happy with that. So, what I want to do before I put this back in the deck is a little bit more cleaning, because I think I got some crap on the heads now for yonder Nakamichi. And I'm glad I did this too, because I had not serviced the reel tables yet on this particular deck. And I want the lowest wow and flutter possible, so it was good that I came in here and did that. So basically I think this is going to work. But we need to get to the deck side of things now and do the wiring and stuff we need to do over there. And by the way, I've got to clean up my table because it looks like several different tape decks exploded all over the place here. So let me do that, and I'll put the transport back in the neck, and we'll pick up from there. All right, folks, there you go. One direct drive converted Nakamichi BX-150. In a way, it kind of almost looks like it always came like this, but nah, they didn't use these black zip ties from the factory, I don't think, so obviously not the same as it was before. It's kind of sitting in there a little bit crooked, the transport is, but not to the point where it would affect anything, I don't think. I can straighten that out in a minute or 5, but here's the front. Looks no different whatsoever. Plates, tapes, no problem. So now we get to do the electronic stuff. And the fusible resistor I was talking about is that guy right there. It's 5.6 ohms. I don't think I have that in the 1 watt size that I'm planning to put in. That's these over here. But I think there's a 5.1 in there somewhere that I will put in there instead. And then that will be fine. And then I got to find that transistor yet and short the collector and emitter. Okay, I have found a fusible resistor. This is 5.1 ohms, 1 watt. Should do the job. Actually, should more than do the job. Even though this appears to be going successfully, I'm still going to be surprised if this works. Potentially sacrificing 2 decks for this little experiment today, but I am fairly confident I can get the at least the NAC going again if I need to. It's a fair bit bigger than the one that came out of there. And I think that'll do the trick. We want it standing off the board to dissipate heat. So now all I got to do is solder that down and then find that transistor. Okay, we are looking for Q620. Where is Q620? Can't be too far away from that fusible resistor, I would think, but you never know with some of these. There's 624 down here. It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right there. Right down yonder. Which you can't see because the wire's in the way. It's this big transistor right here. That chunky boy. Come on, gimbal. There we go. It's right there. So I get to remove that now, and I get to figure out which is the base and short the other 2 pins. And that shouldn't be hard because the base connects directly to that IC. Remember, this is just ground to ground we're soldering. We're just giving a permanent ground to the motor. This should not hurt the deck one little teeny tiny bit. Unless I get a solder bridge or something, but I'll just put it down to check. And everything looks good to me, so just trim this. And that should be good. Are we ready to test the deck? I know I am. So I'm going to put the bottom cover back on. Trying to be optimistic on this one. This might actually work. I may not have actually screwed anything up today. Okay, it is the moment of truth. Are we ready to see if this works? Or if it blows up in my face? I think I am ready. So, here we go, powering on now. Capstan motor is running.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
I might have an issue with the reel drive. we got no take-up torque. So I'm going to have to fix that now. But the capstan motor is working. The direct drive conversion appears to be successful. And that resistor is not getting hot. So we did the wiring right. I just got to figure out why it's got poor take-up torque. Let me investigate. Okay, I just had to do a little bit of cleaning in there to get the torque back, but that's no problem. Let's see if she plays audio now. It's going to need an azimuth adjustment. See, it's way off on one channel. But azimuth is easy enough. I am not concerned about that. What I am concerned about is the wow and flutter. Is it any good? Let's find out, I guess. Alright, did I waste my time with this or not? We're about to find out. I've got my adjustment screwdriver ready to go in case it needs it. But I will say I am concerned about how little take-up torque this thing had, so I think I'm going to have to take the idler back out and reservice that. I know the idler's good, it's fix your audio, but when I changed it earlier, when I got this deck, I didn't quite do it the way I do it now. It hasn't been fully cleaned inside the hub, is what I'm saying. But anyway, we'll check the tape speed and wound flutter right now, and after that, I'll do azimuth, and that should be it for this deck. Oh, yes. Oh, hell yes. 0.022% wound flutter. Holy smokes, I didn't think it was going to turn out this good. This is ridiculous. I didn't get that anywhere near those numbers with the Kenwood when this motor was in there. I will point out that I have done nothing to service this motor since it went into this deck. It didn't need it. There we go, 3000.0. That's not the most stable direct drive that I've ever seen, but look at the wow and flutter numbers. I am extremely happy with that. I don't know about you guys, but I love the way this deck is working now. 0.022%. It did 0.07% with the belt drive. I am extremely happy. So I guess all you got to do to get this result is A, buy a BX-150 or a 125 or a 100 or a BX-1 or 2, and then a parts Kenwood KX-880. That's all you need to do. Simple, right? And also way too expensive for most people. I can't see the value in this, honestly. But if you can find the Kenwood deck for cheap enough, like I paid 35 bucks for mine, plus 70 bucks to ship it from Japan. But anyway, I can't get over those numbers. Anyway, I got to line up the azimuth here, and then we'll do a brief play-out segment, I guess. Okay, folks, I have brought shame upon my name with this one, and on my house. Well, maybe not the house. The house has no shame. I have shame. You know what the cause was of that one channel being lower? The beauty plate was not clipped in on the bottom. It was pressing against the cassette this way. That was the problem. All fixed now, apparently. I've got the azimuth aligned, and I just got to paint lock it and put everything back together again, because I had the transport all the way out again, thinking it was a head alignment issue, but no, it's just me being an idiot. So that's that, I guess. And there you have it, folks. It is working. No issues with the heads at all, no issues with the levels. I am very happy about how this turned out. Anyway, the deck is working. I'm very happy. Is it worth doing the job to switch one of these over to direct drive? I would say so, but you'll have to decide for yourself. This was at a considerable expense. First, I had to buy the deck itself. That was $125 if I remember right. Found it locally in Canada. Well, not locally, in Canada. I suppose you could still call it locally. But $125 for the deck. Had to service the thing, obviously, which included a new idler and such. And a new relay for the record and play. Of course, can't forget that. That was $5 or $10 or something like that. So what have I got into this thing? Maybe $150 before I did the direct drive conversion, and then I had to buy that Kenwood deck for $35 and have that shipped. The Kenwood was shared shipping with a DBX box and some more metal tapes. I would say I'm about $250 into this tape deck as it sits right now with the direct drive conversion and all that. So I would say it's worth it for a Nakamichi, but other brands maybe not so much. One little quick update before we go on the KX-1100G. I have now taken the Yamaha KX-800U out to test the heads on it, and the heads on that are perfect. Flat to 21 kilohertz. So I think the KX-1100G is going to go ahead and get that head. I did test the recording head on that thing, and it's flat to 17 kilohertz, but with the playback head only flat to 10 kilohertz, that's not going to cut it for me. It's worse than the Yamaha KX-1000 at that point, so yes, it's going to get the new heads, I think. On another day, but for this day, I'm happy with what I did today. You might call me crazy for doing it, but I already knew I was crazy, so maybe I'll take that break now I was talking about taking last week and didn't actually do. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.